Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast episode for the Financial Freedom Podcast. And I'm your host, Dr. Christopher Liu. I've always been in the search for the quest for quality of life and freedom. And the secret sauce is time, financial, location, and health freedom. And I've been on a mission to scour the globe looking for people embodying those lifestyles, making an impact, consolidating, get the distinctions, and sharing it with the world through this podcast. So today I'm really interested to and excited to have Tom Cooke, and he is a startup coach and trainer, and he's spent 8 years studying and working in construction. And in the midst of a corporate job, he developed a love for personal and professional development. So we're going to talk here all about his journey. He's going to talk about passion to profits, starting a business, and really excelling. Tom, welcome.
Chris, thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor, and I'm just really grateful that we could find this time. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, this is Podmatch, the Airbnb of guests and hosts. And like I said, you have a very interesting background. So tell people your origin story and the work that you do with clients.
Yeah, thank you for asking that as well. Because as I said, I'd studied in construction and work for 8 years. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate. I got a great job after finishing university, and I thought I was set for life. I thought I got the good grades. I got the good job. It was a well-paying job as well. And after 5 years, I ended up going traveling. I'd broken up with a girlfriend, and I was like, okay, I need to clear head. And so I went traveling, and I tasted this thing called freedom, and it was something that I'd never experienced before. And I returned back to the same job, and it just dawned on me, like reading my new contract, it was like, if you need to work weekends, holidays, and any overtime necessary to get the job done. And it just didn't sit right with me. I felt trapped. I felt restricted, and I knew something had to change. I really wanted to create success, wealth, not only for myself, but for other people as well. And I went on this journey of personal development. And after quitting my job 12 months later, I was able to replace my job salary very quickly as well. And I realized that there were so many people who were in the same position as me. They're trapped in a job. They're stuck. They want out. And they want, like you talk about, Chris, the freedom, the success, the wealth, and they just wanted a better quality of life. And I was just determined to help them do that.
Yeah, it's so interesting because, like I said, I started out, I thought having a high-paying job that that was set, you were set, but then realize you you have to ask putting these time cards and all this. So we'll get into this, but what is a lot of people, they're sick of their jobs, they hate their bosses, their employee, and they want to take the leap. So what is your advice to people that they're feared, but they're like, oh my God, I have a wife and kids and house, how do you get past that fear?
Okay, that's a brilliant question, because I've said this before to somebody, and over the last 4 years now, I'm going to be honest, I haven't come up with an answer myself. And I'll say why that is, because I quit my job at a time where I had a lot of debt. I didn't have any clients at that point, and I'd actually spent all my savings on personal development and how to grow a business. And I quit my job, and I'm going to be honest, Chris, like those first 6 months, bear in mind this was 2020 as well, so COVID kicked in the March, and those first 6 months were hell. It was so tough, but I didn't have a mortgage. I wasn't in a relationship. I didn't have any kids, so I really didn't have any responsibilities. But what I say to people who have that fear, guess what? You have every right to have that fear, because it's okay. 90% of businesses fail by year 5. But you can overcome that. And here's what I say to people. Set up your business and work it on the side. Work on the side, build it up. And what's going to happen is you're going to reach a point where it's going to be slow at first. As long as you're aware of that, it's going to be slow. Set it up on the side. And when your income matches your job income, then you can make the switch. And it saves zero stress. Well, I shouldn't say zero stress. There's always stress in business, but it's going to make the journey a lot smoother for you.
Yeah, and it's always this dichotomy, start early, start building on the side when it doesn't really matter. And then as you slowly get your taste of freedom, you get more time, you get more options, you have more leverage, and then you can say, okay, I have the confidence to go out and do this full time and scale it, or quit my job, etc. And this is almost your back in 2008 when I made the leap after Lehman collapse. I couldn't take it anymore. Just all this corruption. And then you did it in 2020. People are actually waking up, and this is like actually people are doing this, and it's becoming more frequently. So,
yeah,
you also
the big quit. I think I don't know. In America, is it called the big quit? I think it's called the big resignation. The great resignation here. There's this movement of people just wanting to leave.
Yeah, just people want to be more empowered. They want to live life on their own terms. Corporations aren't really giving, it's a lot of it's one side. The other thing is, so basically, you've had this experience, you've had success, and you took a big risk, you made it. So if you had to start again from scratch, what were some of the learnings? What were some of the mistakes? Some things you would do differently, some things you would repeat. Tell the audience.
So two things come to mind. Something that I would repeat is, we talked about fear earlier, and it's just to have that courage, have a really clear vision of what you want. People are looking for more confidence, and something that really helped me was just to have courage. And that was saying to myself, look, I'm scared, I got some fear, but I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm just going to get on with it. And I'm willing to have a go, willing to make mistakes, willing to screw things up. It's okay. And I'm sure, Chris, you can relate. All these successful entrepreneurs are just a huge folder of failures behind them to get to where they are. Now, biggest mistake, and I always talk about this, I didn't manage my money. I didn't manage cash flow. And I got into a lot of trouble financially. I got into a lot of debt because I wasn't managing that cash flow. Like, for instance, I'd have a really good month. This is a big mistake. I had a really good month. And the psyche, the mindset is, this is my new normal. It's going to be like this every month now. What happened is I had a good month, then I didn't sign up another client for 3 months. And I really got myself into a lot of financial trouble. And I encourage everyone who's starting a business, learn the habits and learn all about, seek as much knowledge as you can, cash flow, profits, turnover, how you're going to manage your money. Because if you don't get a handle on those things, it's going to shoot you in the foot.
Yeah, very, very important. There's this great book, I'm sure it's called Profit First, saving for, these, insurance and taxes and your salary, putting that into a bucket right away, which is really interesting. So tell us more about the work that you do with clients. People are interested, a lot of these are physicians, people looking to make the leap. What sort of, how do you help clients?
Yeah, thank you. Good question. So what happens is when somebody comes to me, it's really identify, like I said, what do you want? Do you want to create a big business? Do you want to create a small business? Are you happy just creating a business on the side with a extra 400, 500 pounds in income every month? So it's like getting them clear on what they want. Now, the biggest thing we start with is, what's the pain? What's the problem that you're solving? The only reason anybody is ever going to hand over their hard-earned cash is if you solve a pain or problem for them. And it's really getting clear on what is that problem, what is that pain. Many people go into business with a great idea. A few months later, they're finished because it's not that it wasn't a great idea, it's just the marketplace didn't want it. So getting really clear on that. The other thing that we help them with is who is their customer? Who is their dream client that they would love to work with, they would jump out of bed for every day, getting really clear on who that is. For instance, I had a client recently who they did the same. We got them clear. They gave their dream client a name, Michael, and the following week she signed up a new client, and their name was Michael, in the exact category of what she was looking for. Goes to prove how effective that is. And it's really setting them up so they're focusing every single week. So they're focusing on what truly matters. People start a business and they're, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a bit of that. I'm going to do this. Oh, that looks shiny. That looks fun. I'll do that. And they just scattered. And so what I do is I really bring them focused. What is it that matters in your business? And that comes down to sales and marketing, and putting the right strategy in place for them to attract the right customer, their dream client, and obviously make sales as well.
Yeah. It's interesting in your clients. Do you ever have people in the sessions where they come in with these preconceived notions about running a business that you actually have to kind of dispel, and that social media doesn't really speak about? Break expectations about what people need to know about running a business.
Yeah, and thank you, because I'll say what I said to somebody the other day. Business is tough. It's really tough, and social media paints that image that, hey, in 3 months you're going to have a Lamborghini, you're have lots of money, you're going to be a millionaire, and you're going to be world famous, talking on stages all around the world. If that would be awesome, but if it was the case, but it's not. And business is tough. It's the most rewarding thing you can do, though. And you got to think, with a job, it's consistent income. You know what your income's going to be in every month. But with business, you're taking those risks. You're seeing those fluctuations, but the rewards are even bigger. And if you persevere with it and you keep going and you keep learning, I think everybody can have success in business. They just have to keep going. But it's tough.
And then, the beauty of it is, you're growing as well. It's like you're developing as an individual. You learn about diet and health and sleep, and so you can perform. You learn about leadership, management, all these skills, and then ultimately, it's for yourself. You're not making someone else rich. You're making yourself better, and adding more value and serving the customer, which is what we're talking about. This this freedom concept.
A mentor said to me, "Your business will only grow to the extent that you grow yourself."
I love that, and it's kind of like your capacity to give and receive, and as you grow, that's the beauty of it. It's like a spiritual game. I think Tony Robbins said that. So the other thing is, as we come kind of closer to the end, what was the worst decision? If you look back, and it turned out to be your best decision. A lot of people are in now we're kind of in tough times. The last 3 years were really rough for a lot of people. And so give some inspiration, worst times, worst decision turned out to be like the best for them.
I suppose it's not really, how do I word it? I suppose it's not really business related. Let me explain. So I moved, I didn't move house last year, and I ended up moving into central London, which when you hear about it, sounds amazing. But it was not a good experience. It's so difficult for my mindset, and my sales just plummeted. And I think that goes to show it's like you've got to have the right mindset. You've got to take care of yourself. And my sales plummeted. But the reason why it was the best thing I ever did is because I met my girlfriend. Out of that, met her in central London. So that's why I say it's not business related, but we just, we're so happy, and there's a lot of love between us. So yeah, it affected the business, but I met the love of my life out of it.
Yeah. Interesting, because I had a classmate, we went to med school together, but he had to delay a year because he didn't get in the first time. But then that year he met his spouse, and now they're happily married. He's got a thriving practice. What a fantastic way! I love this. For all the audience out there listening, these are, you're gonna see more and more people taking the leap. If you're interested, listen to the podcast. Be sure to check out, how can people follow you on social media, check out your website, and contact you?
Yeah, thank you. So on Instagram, I'm heavy on there, so you can find me on there, which is Tom WJ and then Cooke, which is COOKE. That's my handle on there. I've recently moved into LinkedIn, which is Tom Cooke Coaching, so you can find me there as well. And if you wanted to email me, it's Tom@TomW. The best ways to reach me. So thank you.
Yeah, and let's thank Tom for coming out to the show. I know he's be sure to follow him. He's on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and all of his resources will be in the links in the show notes. And with that, thanks so much for coming on to the show.
Thank you so much, Chris. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, that was good. Real quick, I'm going to give you a 5-star review. I followed you on all your socials, and it should release in the next few days.
Can I give you a review as a host? It works both. Oh, cool. I'll do that.
So yeah, so what's gonna happen is I'm gonna send you a follow-up, and it'll, because I'm building out my podcast reviews, and it'll just, I think there's 3 links that to leave a review, and I'm building out my YouTube channel, but kind of my Twitter. So, but yeah, I'll look for that. There's a follow-up message as well. Look forward. Thanks for connecting, and let me know I can help you in the future.
Yeah, thank you. It's really good to meet you, and I love meeting new people anyway. So it's great
Yeah.
to connect.
Yeah, no, I hope you feel better, and thanks so much for making the effort to come on.
And no worries, no worries. I'm gonna go rest.
All right. Well,
Thank you very much,
get
Chris.
better.
Take
Yeah.
care.
See you, Tom. Bye.